Rex's on your mind. Not even like a needle in a haystack. Someone's been there, but they never went back. Is it the gateway or maybe more? Rex is on your mind. There's a mystery machine wrapping up my every dream. Now there's tin for everywhere. gliding through this veil of atmosphere below the stars. My cobra's shining, the engine's whining, my eyes fixed on the prize. I got no past, don't own a future, all I have is in my hands. I'm gonna raise some cash bills, stash or start my own hab, that's the plan. I got my feet on the ground, walking away on this odyssey. Feet on the ground, looking in the box with the bad guys hide. Feet on the ground, maybe take a ride to another star. Feet on the ground, heading into trouble, got my trigger finger ready to pull. Just a gun for high sea, ain't got no rep to lose. Let me walk away, you'll see another day. It's up to you to choose. Just a drifting murder hobo, sleep on apex seats. But if you need someone dead, put a price upon the head. No questions asked, I'm that discreet. Feet on the ground, walking away on this odyssey. Feet on the ground, looking in the box with the bad guys hide. Feet on the ground, maybe take a ride to another star. Feet on the ground, heading into trouble, got my trigger finger ready to pull. Touching down, the dust surrounds me, gun in hand. Heading to the terminal, yeah, that's the plan. I got your tags in the bag, they're never done till they're dead. You want a crack on the back or a bullet in your head? I got my feet on the ground, walking away on this odyssey. Feet on the ground, looking in the bar with the bad guys hide. Feet on the ground, maybe take a ride to another star. Feet on the ground, heading into trouble, got my trigger finger ready. Feet on the ground, walking away on this odyssey. Feet on the ground, looking in the bar with the bad guys hide. Feet on the ground, maybe take a ride to another star. Feet on the ground, heading into trouble, got my trigger finger ready to pull. See bought a ship when I just joined the Pilots Federation. Cost me 52 grand. I felt so proud when I special elected to the shipyard and they put the keys in my hand. Do you have keys? I know. It may only have a small hard point, but that doesn't matter to me. 'Cause she's mine and she blows my mind. She's my beautiful space taxi. I'm a hauler, space baller, talking Peterson about you. It's a mini-foot Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. My space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah. I tricked it out so it would jump just like a lady. It maxed out at 30.09. One fully laden, its ass was a beautiful thing. No shit, kid, to mess with its lines. Jumped into open for a community goal. Thought I'd raise a buck or two. Some guy called Potter stripped my shield. Oh, what a rider, I'm at 1% as I recharge my friendship. Oh, I'm a hauler, yeah, such a baller. Talking Peterson about you. It's a mini-foot Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. Yeah, I'm a hauler, such a baller, talking Peterson about you. It's a mini-foot Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. My space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite.
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
And the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the current sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 527 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Sophia, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Edelweiss, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Do you also cover Greek myths and legends?
I know quite a lot of Greek myths and legends, thanks to Stephen Fry. But we've got our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
I really wanted us to just sit and see how long we could let that silence go. That was awesome. Yeah, hello.
And we've also got our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychit, otherwise known as Claire.
That sounds right. That sounds about right. I really like the idea of us just sitting here in silence for an hour. It's great. Anyway, that's our show.
Build and build and build.
We can keep it on for 2 hours of static.
So if you wish, you can join us live. We're hanging out in-game, in open, with the Chris Mark for hopefully at Lave, if he hasn't flown too close to the sun. Careful, Icarus. And we also have our Ben, who's well, we'll let you know what he's doing when it comes to it. But if you can't get to us in game, you can always join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or at twitch.tv/laveradio, or YouTube. We're on Lave Radio as well. So, right. Let's go around the crew, see what they've been up to for the last week or so. So we'll start with Claire. How are you doing?
Hello. I've been really ill. I was really ill over the last week or so. Like ever since Lave, and I'm not going to blame Lave, but ever since Lave, I felt this tension headache, like building right up in my brain stem, and it felt like my whole head was full of mucus. This is the best way to describe it. It genuinely just felt like So I've been steadily getting worse throughout the week. Ended up full of lurgy on Friday, and then Friday and Saturday were pretty much write-offs. Caught up with the Grand Prix on highlights because it's really it was really early, so there was no chance with all of my lurgy, and yeah, it was about it for a pretty non-interesting week. What have I done though? I have I've done the thing where the plunge has been taken, and I have bought a new graphics card for my computer, and I have bought a I've also decided just to try and sort of just kill all birds with one stone. I've also bought a bigger SSD to put a fresh new install of Windows on, but then also on that drive is going to have like OBS. Already on my old Windows drive, it has I've got to remember to back up my keybinds, OBS, my chatbot, and like, you know, none of the things that matter for me as a content creator. Like all of the important things are on that drive. So I've got a beautiful weekend of doing a lot of things like that in front of me, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot, but I'm really excited to just sort of like do the things which I hope are going to fix the problems with my PC.
Can you share what graphics card you've gone with?
It is a 4060 Ti with 16 gig of VRAM.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh,
So
very nice.
I couldn't quite stretch to a 4070, which would have been lovely, but I think a 4060 with the 16 gig, I think we're going to be okay. For quite a while.
Less catchy fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Excellent. We'll move on to Ben.
I've been the opposite of Claire this week. I've been out and about doing things. I've been playing Elite. I've been writing software. I've been doing loads. So, first of all, I went off to meet up with some friends in combinations of London, Gatwick, and Stevenage of all places. We went to the Science Museum. We had lots of fun there. We went to steak restaurants, Italian restaurants, pubs, more pubs, some more pubs. I'm the hotel where we were staying at, which was a well-known budget chain. A little bit premier. They were awesome, and their staff were awesome. And I can very they basically adopted our little group, and they were lovely. The Science Museum is what it is, but they're doing something weird. That I think they're rebuilding the Apollo exhibition. So that was all kind of random. And I got I love in ED Market Connector. I love LCU No Fool Like One's screenshot thing.
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah,
I've not managed. Yeah, I've not managed to get that actually working on Linux. He's got a whole load of basically in his thing. He's got a whole load of things that say that are expecting Windows libraries. And they ain't gonna work for me. So I basically wrote a little script that does what his thing does, basically for myself. And if anyone else wants to steal it, they are welcome to it. But that was a fun little thing, because it's the first time I've ever done threading in Python. And threading in Python was very, very easy. So yay!
I've had enough code talk. I can't handle any more code
I switched
talk
off
today.
entirely. I'm so glad that someone else said something, because I was like, I don't know what he's talking about.
We like things that do things when you say do things.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had enough of code today. Right. Please, Alec, have nothing to do with code.
Right. It's a deal. I played some golf in the mist on Sunday morning. How's that? I'm not a golfer. It's pitch and putt really, but there's a little local place, and I went with my son. But it was really misty, so it was really fun. It was very easy to lose the ball, especially when you're not good and you don't quite know where it's going to go. But yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. What else have I been up to? I've been watching. Netflix does this to me. I assume I'm watching something new, and it turns out it's years old and everyone's seen it. But anyway, I've been watching Resident Alien. We've been binge watching that. It's really good. What I enjoy about Resident Alien particularly is it's a fantastic series for playing oh, Jesus, who's that actor? I really recognise them, but it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite place them. It's got everyone in it. It's got Linda Hamilton. It's got the guy from Firefly. It's got the woman who played the agent in Mrs. Maisel. There's all these like, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Who is it? Who is it? It's good. I'm enjoying it a lot. Today, I am, for the first time this year, giving my brand new Burr Pit hoodie a tryout before
Ooh.
PitCon. Thought I'd better wear it and make sure it fits.
mean,
And I'm vaguely hoping that somebody on the train will say I'm Commander Burr, but nobody has yet. But I live in hope that it will get recognised. And in game,
Is that Hope Staffordshire?
surely some Londoner must know Commander Burr. There must be somebody out there who will spot it. Anyway, and
you are
in-game I've
Commander Burr, and I claim my £10.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got it
you're
all
not
planned.
Burr, you're Alec Turner.
I've got it all planned. I'm going to do a hoodie and send it to Burr when it happens. Anyway, in game, I have taken a kind of break from colonization, as in hauling, and I've been going to visit some of the other systems that people have built. In particular, Ghost Giraffe and crew. I caught a Ghost Giraffe stream, and as is their wont, Ghost Giraffe and friends have built some really crazy planet settlements, which I've been visiting. Ben might give us a sneak peek of one of those later. But one of them in particular just had the most gorgeous natural tracks. I mean, from space, you would just look and go, there's 2 racetracks down there. They had banked corners. They're like, like the Indy 500. It's basically an oval, slightly kidney shaped, banked corners at both ends. It's even got a thin black line that marks the inside edge of the track. It's incredible. So then I spent many days making a time trial for the first of those, and I have to go back and do the second one. But
It still makes me laugh, the fact that said, oh no, we're not going to put racetracks in, and then all of a sudden, well, we've kind of put them in.
well, I mean, this is Stella Forge. It's just carved, it's Stella Forge just doing its thing. They're amazing. And I more on this later, but I have been putting the finishing touches to my buckyball race, writing forum posts and making banners and things, and we are go on buckyball.
Woohoo!
Excellent. Well, that just leaves me then. Right. Just a lot of stressful stuff at work. Really don't want to. I have had to put myself on a food plan.
I
Yes.
understood that reference.
But also attached to that reference is that the Burrs, who we have just mentioned before, pointed me in the direction of a Babylon 5 podcast, who are these 2 Star Trek guys who are watching, who have never seen Babylon 5, who are working their way through the series for the first time. And it's fantastic to listen to.
You're going to have to share that with me at some point as well, Colin.
Yeah.
Or with the rest of the audience, frankly. Because I'm sure there's no crossover here at all between Star Trek, Babylon 5, and Elite.
Yeah. I've been listening to that. Apparently, it's been so successful they're now on their second time through Babylon 5, but I haven't got that. I haven't got that far yet. And so far, it's very funny because they've got 90% of it wrong, but the 10% they've got right has been dead on so far. So it's been hilarious. Yeah, and then a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think I've just hit the mini-game section. It just seems like mini-game after mini-game at the moment. So I'm hoping to get them out the way and on with some plot. And then Elite Dangerous, which I had enough of hauling. So I decided to go exploring. I'll get my Explorer Commander out and got her to Exploration Elite, which I was quite happy about. Yay! And also, she docked up at one of the second outpost away from Colonia. So I'm only through 6,500 light years away from Colonia now. But I was able to swap out my ship for the Mandalay I bought for her. and it's awesome because it's all shiny. I don't care what we were slagging off the shiny Mandalay last time. I don't care. I love it.
Oh, can I ruin?
No,
can
don't
I
say
ruin?
it. Don't say it.
Can I
Everyone
ruin the
block your
Mandalay
ears.
for
Everyone
everyone?
block your
I need
ears
to
now.
ruin the Mandalay for everyone because Paige ruined it for me, and I'm only passing on the favour. So Paige Harvey said to me that when she saw the Mandalay, and I showed it her on stream, and she went, "It looks like someone's tried inflating an eagle, and it looks like it's trying to burst at the seams. Look at it the next time you have a chance to look at it, because the seams of it are further into the ship than the rest of it. It all sort of builds out. It looks like an inflatable ship. I love it even more because of this, but it genuinely does look like it."
It's like what they've taken an eagle and put too much helium in it.
Yeah, it's like it's been inflated. She's so accurate with it. I love it so much.
Yeah, the thing is about the Mandalay. If you look at the Mandalay, it looks fantastic from above, and any angle above it looks amazing. Soon as you go underneath and you see its big hanging down belly, you think that's a pregnant frog.
This is where
To be honest,
helium canisters are stored.
that belly isn't as bad as it looked in the grey in the grey box renderings, but yeah.
It's a pregnant eagle. Right. Well, yeah. So I have avoided hauling this week, but I'm back into it now, and I've now got another. I've actually, the Benedetti drilling platform is now up and running. So yes, I've now started working on a satellite. So let's have a look round what the development news has been this week. So yes, they dropped a bit of a bombshell on Friday.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. Yeah, a lot of people have been querying about, hang on, how do I change the market on my station? Because they've spent absolutely ages building these stations, massive stations up, and they're finding that they're colonies that only create bio-waste. Yeah, they're stations flush. And it turns out that what you have to do is, in order to change the market of a station that's in orbit, you've got to put the facilities on the planet below that will create that market. So if you want a refinery, you've got to put refineries down on the planet. If you want extraction, you've got to put mines down on the planet. And yes, this has caused a little bit of a furore on the forums. I'll say that again. I mean, first of all, guys, what do you actually think of the mechanic?
It's one of those classic kind of Frontier Elite things that, like, the way they said it was. Loose Screw said this as well, and I love them for it because it was on my mind the minute it came up. It reminds me of when Frontier said, "Oh, don't you realise those crashed Thargoid things are crash Titans?" And the community went no, and they were like, "Oh, because you never told us, we just didn't." And it's like that. It's like you've never mentioned this, and they're sort of tossing it out there on X like it's matter of fact. Like, well, obviously, it's like, well, no, you never explained this. We have no idea that was the case.
Do you get the impression that there's sort of, well, this mechanic? Yeah. Sorry, I'm not going to say anything else. Anybody else want to go?
So yeah, I can chip in. I will obviously, before I get too worked up and excited about it, I will let you know that this is still in beta, and put your feedback on the fucking feedback forum if you're pissed off about it, and those kind of things, because that's the best place to go. But I will say, what the actual fuck? That's my initial thing. I was just like, my guys, like it does say it's not just according to the wording on the tweet that Frontier put out, saying there was like building facilities up on or around the planetary body that is orbiting.
But okay, as well.
Yeah, it says on or around. Look at the notes. It literally says it in the notes. But it said on or around the planetary body that is orbiting. What the fuck does that mean, A? And I mean, it's fine because we are, I'm an old hat in the BGS, and we've spent a lot of time. Like with the BGS, we spend time working out how things work. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works, and then we go through. Now, or we rectify our errors, or we switch around to do something else. The issue is with this is that the thing I've been recommending people to do is go and take a look how the established systems already work and how they look, and build your stations based on what we currently know. And this information that Frontier's giving us now looks like they've written a brand new strategy for doing it, or it means that there was never a strategy in the first place, and now they're having to find something to make it work, or like make an arbitrary set of rules to make things work, or make you have the desired commodity market and those kind of things. And part of me is like, at this point, just make it random like everything else, if that's what it is, if that's what it's been before. But another part of me is like, what about those stations that are Hutton orbital and have nothing around it and those kind of things? What about it was Commander Cohorn's, it was a reply to Commander Cohorn that sort of brought this to light, and the planet that he was querying was I believe it is an orbital that is around either a water world or an Earth-like, but that's the only planet 8k light years out. So it's like, this is my understanding, and I'm getting this information third hand, but it's like, so how does he make his biowaste factory something better?
Are there asteroids or anything like that in the area he can mine?
Not within
I'm wondering if that's what it means by...
But 8,000 light years. That's the only... this Earth-like is 8,000 light years out, and there's nothing else.
So hang on, he's managed to haul a whole load of stuff 8,000 light years in order to get this thing set up.
Yeah.
I mean, SEO, that's not...
Light seconds, sorry, light seconds.
I suppose.
Sorry.
Just because it's on the second start doesn't mean to say there aren't going to be asteroids and so on.
But there isn't.
Okay, but you didn't say that. That's why I asked you, isn't there, Mum?
Yeah, but that's what I said. There's nothing around for him to do it. So where does it go? That's literally what I said. There's nothing around for him to do it. So how is he going to change his biowaste factory into something else? And you'd think that would have I don't know.
Yeah.
So I wonder what's the range of around.
Well, you see, this is what I think. On my system, I have basically one planet that I've got up to. I can put up to 6 installations on the planet. I then have 2 spaces around the planet for me to put installations in, and then I have a moon. And then on that moon has also got a space for a station to go around. Now, I think when they mean around, it means any spaces that you've got around that planet. So those 2 spaces that I've got around the planet would count towards the economy of whatever station I put in one of them, plus also the stuff down on the planet. That's the way I understand it. So if I finally want to, and what I aim to do is put as many refineries on there as possible and a big orbis up there, and then hopefully that orbis will be a refinery. That's what I think it's going to be. What I feel sorry for is because we didn't have the information, then a lot of people have gone to a lot of effort to create these things.
Yeah.
And they're now stuck with their basically shithole.
And that's the thing as well. Like, there is very often with Frontier a as you were saying, with the we're going to let you extrapolate the information, or we're going to let you work it out for yourselves, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And with the BGS, I'm gonna use the BGS specifically because this feels the most similar to when we're sort of like here you go, have your BGS and have a play. This feels the most similar to this, but it's in a much wider scale because arguably more people are wanting to colonize than they are do the BGS, and arguably more people are wanting to get like a handbook, which to tell them exactly how to do it. And if it was reversible, if these things that we were doing were reversible, then it wouldn't be quite as much of an impact to, I want to say mental health, but to sort of like...
No, you're right.
No, fuck it. It wouldn't be quite such of an impact. And you go, actually, I've spent so much time, and there is now it's there. Now you're giving me this information. There is nothing I can do about it because there's not a mechanic for me to be able to go, actually, I'm the architect of this system and I don't approve of this citadel, so I'm going to move it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or scrap it. Even though it cost me a lot of effort, forget it. Scrap that. I'd like to start again.
Hey, Frontier, you know how you've got the dredger cans? Let us employ them.
Oh, yeah.
Let us employ the dredger cans to come and even if it takes like 2 weeks or something, say, hey, dredger cans, do you want all of my scrap here? Because I want to get rid of this. And then the dredger cans come in with the little, those are little sucky mouths. They come in with the little sucky mouths and they eat all of the colonized area that you've got. And then everyone's happy because now we can reposition and have a better idea of what we want to do, rather than leaving. We've started with an outpost in some system and we've realized that we can do fuck all with it, so it's just like there's a couple of systems that are out there now with like solitary outposts that people have abandoned and they don't give a shit about anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, when I was originally looking to place my system, I was lucky that I chose the one that I did, because I could just imagine that I'd place my original system over something that has got no planetary, no space for any planetary stuff. So it'd just be this whatever the type is that you create in the first place, because the first initial system. Well, no, you see, the thing is, the outposts, you get to choose the industry for most of them. Or you get to choose the market, but because it's an outpost, you don't get much with it. But if you choose to do a Coriolis or anything bigger, then effectively you're a colony. And yeah, if you've got nothing to try and influence that market around it, well, then it's going to stay a colony forever.
So in hindsight, are you better? You set up your outpost, then you set up a couple of farms or something like that. Then you go and build your orbit. Is that what you're suggesting?
That's actually the way that I did it, because I knew that I wasn't going to. There's no way I was going to be able to haul enough to create a Coriolis or an Orbis.
It makes sense to do it that way, Ben, as well, because there's a couple of things. I mean, firstly, there's a time limit on the first one, so starting small with the outpost is not a bad idea. The second thing is you have no choice in where that first system is going to be. It pops up in the system at random. So again, if you're going to build your sort of beautiful 4 noob hammer Coriolis and then it decides to stick it around the 7th moon of the 8th planet, start small because you don't know where it's going to go, and then
start small, aim high, and then get disappointed when you've only got biowaste.
Yeah.
It is kind of shit.
It is kind of shit, though.
Please don't tell me that's the title of
Too late, Colin! I'm already writing it in, and there's no backspace on my computer, so what am I supposed to do?
I have to admit, regardless of the fact that they've told us this a month after the fact, I like that you can influence what you're going to get. And I like that it requires more effort. So if you want a great place, you've got to build the industry up first. Then you can build the thing what makes use of industry.
Yeah, there's no denying that in and of itself is really, really cool. The fact that it's restricted to stuff that is close and nearby, that's the thing that I have a problem with. I'd rather let me place let me build my my station here in this asteroid belt that I'm really happy with, and then let me build a refinery over here on this atmospheric planet that looks really dope, but it's quite a way away. But can they talk to each other?
Yeah, the whole
That's
system ought to
do we know that-
interconnect.
do we know that's
System
not-
as in star system, and there ought to be supply chains, and they all ought to,
Yeah.
bleed commodities.
Then again,
and
I mean, I think it makes to me it would make sense having an asteroid extraction facility in an asteroid belt rather
Yes.
than in the middle of.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't
desert
have an
planet.
asteroid. You wouldn't have an asteroid station anywhere other than an asteroid
Yeah,
belt. That's something that you can't even have the opportunity to click on. But like if I do that, I don't necessarily want my refinery on the boring planet that's there. I want my refinery on the neat atmospheric planet. That's
You don't have
maybe
your refinery in space.
No, you see, that's the thing. There isn't a refinery station.
That's
No,
a pain, isn't it?
Oh, that is the one thing that I've when I wanted to set up my original system, I wanted to set up as a refinery because
That's weird. You've got like I'm literally outside of an agricultural installation in space.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a farm though, Ben.
Yeah, but it's like, why the
See,
hell?
there isn't a mining
can I have?
installation.
Yeah, that's
They don't
like, why the
they
hell
don't
can I have a
exist.
farm in space when I can't have an asteroid extraction facility in space?
But what are you mining? I suppose, like you can
Well,
grow.
presumably you're mining the asteroids that are right next door.
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I just find that weird.
yeah. I must admit, that's what I wanted to set up first is a refinery, and instead I've ended up setting up an industry because the one that I set up I thought was a refinery, but it wasn't because I didn't read the instructions properly. So yeah. But no, if you want a refinery market or system or station rather, then it's a case of you've got to put these refinery buildings on, which is a tier 2 down on the surface of a planet, and any station that's above that planet will take on a refinery market. I mean, I must admit, I do like the way that occurs, but what I am a little bit, I was hoping that just to set up a mine which would feed the refinery, and then the refinery wouldn't never run out. But there isn't that link.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you want that kind of supply chain, don't you?
Yeah, this is a way to set up supply chains that all you get is sort of, okay, there's a place to get cheap metals there that I can take over to the refinery in my system here, and that's it. There's nothing there that will automatically feed it.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm sitting above an Earth-like world, I'd expect that to be a great place for setting down farms.
There are 2 space installations that are mining / industrial, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have you can have space. I didn't even think you could have space mining ones. Maybe they come up more as industrial. I'm just looking at Nowski's helper that we looked at last week.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even realize that they existed.
The asteroid bases are pure extraction sites. So if you put an asteroid base in a ring or on in an asteroid belt, then they're full proper in extraction
But
markets.
does that go and generate iron and things like that?
Oh yeah, but it doesn't
Okay.
generate steel, because steel that you need a refinery for steel.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it is complicated in some ways, and yeah,
Even more complicated than we initially thought it was, to some
Well,
extent.
yeah, which I'm quite happy about.
Yeah, I like things being complicated.
Yeah, it's
Someone
just
decides to take part in it, but I enjoy the fact that it exists.
yes, it's just there's little bits of critical information that we could have done with knowing, I think. But even then, as Claire's
Hi, I'm
already said,
Frontier. Have you ever heard of me before?
as Claire said, it is a beta.
Yeah, it's a beta that we can't undo, and that's kind of frustrating. That's where the frustration is. I'd
Yeah.
love to be able to just like undo and maybe not even get the. I don't want to hold those things again, but I want to move stuff. I don't know. I don't know if there's any sort of solution for it where I'm going to be happy.
I
Oh,
like
well,
the idea
a bit
of
like
a space tug kind of. Well, hang on. The bloody Orbis, not the Coriolis, but all the other stations have got a great big chuffing engine on the back of them.
not
That's
the
always burning, but don't talk to me about that.
well. If you think about it, surely they could get one of those big colonization ships to come in,
How hard
hook
can it
up,
be?
and drag it
Yeah.
over to your new place. Only it'll take a couple of days instead of.
Could repurpose a Titan or something to do it.
I also kind of think a bit like we've talked in the past about being able to scrap things like engineered non-SCO FSDs and get a little bit back. I think we were sort of saying earlier on we'd be fine with just scrapping the station and start again. But as a little sweetener on that, it'd be quite nice if you could get 10% of the stuff back when you scrap a station. I don't quite know because it's difficult because that turns into commodities, and what do you do with it if you're in a small ship? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, so that was fun. You can imagine the feedback on that forum thread has been quite extensive.
Yeah, I mean, if you add to it though, like the more people who say it, the more frontier we're going to see it.
Yeah, very true. No, that's not the only thing that was a surprise as far as colonization was concerned. They had to admit that the last tick that they do, the Thursday tick that they do in order to refresh the galaxy, give it a back massage, give it a slap in the face to wake it up. And they couldn't do it all in the time period that they allotted, so they cut it halfway through. So there are a whole load of new stations which haven't been processed yet. They've said that it's added to a backlog and they'll get processed next week. But then you wonder, okay, but what about
next week? Yeah.
Yeah, they need to make the process significantly faster by next week. Otherwise, it's going to get worse, not better.
Yes. Will your station reach the cutoff point? Will you cross the line?
It would be funny if they suddenly start a letter A every week. This week we managed to get up to the letter L.
They managed to get to the letter W because my new station, WeCrushAnyAdder.com.
It's going to be done by the station IDs. God damn it!
No, I'm telling you, it's done with commander name. Poor old Zulu Romeo. Fucked. They're never going to develop any of his
stations. There's us being all sympathetic to other people's plight. Nope. Anyway, so yes, some people are having.
Mind you, thinking about it, Yamex is fucked as well. So pros and cons.
Said, "I'll fall on that sword, mate. Fall on that sword."
I'm not. I am holding back. So I'm being diplomatic and holding back. So moving on from there, yes, there is one thing that has taken. We're going to add because there is a stuttering issue that some commanders, I think all commanders get.
It's not all because some people have gone, well, I don't get it. Good for you, mate. Good for fucking you.
Yeah, very good for you. Because I've seen it on my stream so many times. It seems to happen for me, it happens every 5 past the hour, and then at 25 past the hour. It doesn't happen any other time, but oh my god, yes, for 30 seconds it turns my machine into a slideshow. Well, a ticket has been raised, and so far there's been quite a few entries on this one, and we will put the link to the issue tracker on our.
It's in the notes. It's in the description. It's also I've also added the other one that you guys mentioned in your chat that you were having earlier that I didn't see, but there was the shadowy flickery one.
That one, yeah.
That's been voted up as well. So I've added both of those. They're right at the top of the show notes. So if you've got chance, do give them a vote up if you wouldn't mind, if you are experiencing those issues as well. There is on the stuttering issue as well. There is quite some insight on there as well, so it's really helped. Hopefully the more insight and the more experiences and shared sort of experiences that you get, and people write about on those issue trackers. Hopefully it will help Frontier get to the crux of the issue. I'm not holding out hope, but fingers crossed.
I like what the chat is saying. We've got the Commander Face guy saying stutter, more like slideshow. Commander Dave Tinman, it's more like hand painted by Bob Ross frames.
That feels right.
With happy little stations.
Yeah, happy little stations. Right. Well, I'm going to hand over to Alec to discuss the community news this week.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Sorry, muted my microphone to do a massive burp. There you go. There's a
you
little
for
peek behind the
oversharing.
curtain. Sorry. Right. First up, the High Wake, who has a lovely new video out about what happens in a shuttle, stays in a shuttle. It's a
Including
very yeah, everybody burps. It's another very amusing little sort of behind the scenes set piece from the High Wake. Always love these. I won't give it away what happens in the shuttle, but you'll find out if you watch it. Next up is a post on X from Commander Picard on Mission Farsight, which I think I'll just read out. Celebrating surpassing 3,000 days in space, we take a moment before returning to our journey to share the following stats. Date of departure was 1st of January 2017. Total light years travelled was 1,260,979.39. Total jumps 42,494. Total planets scanned 343,686. And the total stars scanned 72,717. Thanks to all who have continued to follow our journey through the endless cosmos. 07. And indeed, 07 back to Picard and Mission Farsight. That is quite extraordinary. 3,000 days in space.
Wild.
That's going to be a lot of exploration data.
That's
I think he's come back periodically to hand it in. I don't think it's like entirely
right.
I do believe he has handed it in occasionally.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because it'd be mad not to.
Now there's somebody who likes exploring. Right. Next up is a nice video from the Elite Scout. Title of the video is Elite an inch deep and a mile wide? Sorry, the YouTube channel is actually Modern Spectrum. I'll just read out the description of the video again. It's a nice video. The phrase "a mile wide but an inch deep" is often used disparagingly about Elite Dangerous. The lack of structured plot lines and gameplay from Frontier developments is seen as a negative. The truth is deeper than that. FDev has provided countless tools, situations, and opportunities that allow for emergent gameplay for the community to create their own storylines and provide their own depth. Elite is not an inch deep, but a mile deep. You just need to move away from the game's code to the game's community. And it's a nice little sort of thinky piece, discussive video, sort of just talking about the idea that, yeah, the depth is there and the community provides a lot of it. It's nice. I like it. There is an awful lot of depth in the game provided by Frontier as well, actually, but I still like the gist of the video. Next up, I don't know if we touched on this. I guess it's not strictly speaking dev news, but Lantern Light, which we featured last week, which is the Orbis station that's oscillating wildly around a neutron star and giving everyone motion sickness and photosensitive seizures, is going to be fixed. Frontier are going to do something. We're not quite sure what yet.
They found the space tugs for that one.
Yeah, they're going to commemorate it or something, and they're going to shift it, I guess. But In the meantime, there's a very funny video from Project SimStar called Lantern Light in a Motion Simulator. So SimStar is one of these commanders who's got a full motion rig, like all the hydraulics and things that shakes them around. And basically, the video description says, when we heard about Lantern Light, we had to check it out with a full motion simulator. It gave me whiplash. I was in bed for a full day to get better. Ha ha ha. And it is pretty funny.
Serves you right for having something so flash, eh?
yeah, fuck that guy for damaging himself.
It's also worth it just to see his rig because it is amazing. I've only ever seen who's the guy that brought his rig to ECM? I've forgotten his name.
Oh, I can't remember. I remember seeing
The
that
one
thing.
that you were greening.
The one that I was greening, yeah. Yeah, well, it's another one. It's very nice. It's very slick
Was
and
he
it's
in
very
VR as
funny.
well?
It's very fun. Yeah, no, that was the only downside. I don't want to like rain on this guy's amazing motion rig, but he has a huge screen which is mounted, as rigidly as you could possibly hope.
Hmm.
But when his entire rig is being bounced around by
It
this
was
thing,
like-
his screen is wobbling quite a lot,
I'm not surprised.
which must be a bit annoying.
Chris, what would you want to say?
Alec, I will buy you 2 pints if that motion rig is at ECM and they haven't moved Lantern Light for you to go visit it.
Yeah, you're on. I'll take that bet.
Fantastic.
Maybe not on the Saturday morning after a heavy Friday night though.
Alec Huey.
Yeah, I did feel a bit green on that. Right, next. Next, the Buckyball race I mentioned. I talked about it a lot last week, but it is happening. It's starting this Friday. It's called Time and Motion Study. It will run from this Friday until Monday week. And the forum thread is up. We'll have the link in the show notes, but the forum thread has all the rules as explained last week. There will be a link to a Google form where you can submit your runs. And I think I said it all last week. So we are up and running with the first race of the year. And speaking of racing, this coming Saturday at 1800 UTC, the elite racers are off to the legendary HIP 22460 system where Salvation started a war. It's the 4th event in their Titan Cup series, but the idea is each race is kind of named after one of the Titans. This event, we're going to try and squeeze in 2 races, so it's going to be a jam-packed evening. We're starting with the Haddad Stakes, as sponsored by Turner's Artisanal Meats, which is going to be a ship race. It's going to be a super cruise race. So HIP 22460 has 17 ringed bodies, and the race is basically going to use those as gates. So you will fly through rings 1 to 17 in order. First one to go through ring 17 is the winner, basically. So that will be the ship component. And then we will move down to Fort Ash on one of the planets in that system. I forget the planet. For an SRV race around Fort Ash, which is a lovely sort of ruined base. It used to be a lot more spooky. You used to have Thargoids come and visit you while you were racing around it, but since the end of the war, we've rather chased them off. So it's not quite as atmospheric as it used to be, but it's still a good SRV race. So in the show notes, we will have a link to the Elite Racers Discord, and there's a channel in there called #TitanCup, and that is where all the discussion is going on about this event. So hopefully see some folks Saturday evening. 1800 UTC will be sort of meeting up. Hopefully get the first race cracking by 1830 because there's a lot to pack in. And last of all, we were contacted by Halloran Ras of the Swords of Mackay. So just wanted to give a shout out. So basically, Swords of Mackay are allegedly, I'm going to put air quotes around this, Nakato Kane's biggest and most active squadron, who are very proud of the community and claim to be the first to build a tier 3 Orbis in game. They delivered 2.9 million units in 3.5 weeks, building a total of 5 Tier 3 stations. And as part of the kind of community, their sort of Nakato Kane community, they now put out quite a fun weekly audio news bulletin. I listened to one of them today. It's about 5 minutes long or something. It's using 11 Labs AI voices, but it's a nice script and it's all very personal. And it kind of has news about the squadron, shout outs for squadron members and their achievements. And a little bit inspired, I think, by our own Lave Radio adverts. They've also got a kind of word from the sponsors bit at the end that's pretty funny. So we'll have a link to their Discord server. But yeah, if you're a sort of Nakato Kane power play supporter and you want to get involved in a squadron, these sound like a fun group to hook up with. Yeah, Swords of Makai. And that is it for this week's Community Corner.
Excellent. So if you have a community event taking place soon and you'd like us to shout about it across the airways, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or Blue Sky the crew at Lave Radio, or email us at info@laveradio.com. So, what has been actually happening in the galaxy this week? Well, on the 19th, we had a Galnet news article announcing to the world, or the galaxy rather, that the Trailblazer fleet had deployed to support colonization initiatives. They're described as colonization support hubs. The Trailblazer fleet provides a bespoke trade market focused on colonization materials and goods. And the first wave of independent colonization efforts has been described as overwhelmingly popular by Brewer's COO, Mark Rennick.
Be the judge of that, Mark Rennick. That's who I'm angry at now. It's Mark Rennick. There we go.
Yes, so now we know who to be angry at. Give us a rec function. We want a wrecker ball. So yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and one of them has Trailblazer Echo apparently has returned to the Minerva system. Has anybody actually visited these yet?
No,
I haven't. And I also didn't we get to tier 5?
I thought we got to tier 5, but they've put 6 in.
Yeah, 6, and then Trailblazer Echo's like still included. It's going to be selling stuff as well. So, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough.
Tell you the truth, we're not going to complain about one extra Trailblazer ship. So,
although I will say it's a shame they don't move.
Yeah, the closest one to me is too far away for me to justify using it over some of the other places that is close enough for me to go and get stuff.
They're not going to move.
No,
they don't have an itinerary on them.
Interesting. And so unless at a certain point the Brewer Corporation decides, we'd better move them then. Mm. But then again, the further out we all go, the further out they're going to be spaced out, aren't they? So, yeah. And continuing with the Brewer Corporation, they have said that they're deploying to assist the Lantern Light Station. I quote, an unusual and turbulent situation has arisen for residents of the station Lantern Light. The architect Commander Lavian commissioned the station near a neutron star. However, the station was inadvertently deployed deep within the star's gravitational well. As a result, the station's movement and rotation speeds far exceed safe limits. Time should be taken for caution when attempting docking. Is it actually possible to dock?
No.
Only if you sort of like explode in its proximity, and then you end up stuck inside the station.
Brewer Corporation has received numerous requests for support from the station's residents and is mobilizing to correct the station's violent and turbulent movement. The operation is currently undergoing careful planning to ensure the orbit does not destabilize further into catastrophe, and is expected to take several weeks to accomplish. So, let us design a ship that can stop that.
Somebody in my chat today, we were talking about this in chat today, and somebody in chat today, now I'm just quoting this one person, said that they'd been speaking to Commander Lane, and apparently Frontier said, we'll do something to commemorate it. Now, what I really want them to do is like a milkshake or something, like a milkshake rare. I thought would be so funny.
How about a
Would it be
martini?
Martini, yeah, martini would work as well. Just anything that's shaken, I thought would be brilliant. But they had these big grandiose ideas of like a ship skin or a special thing. Nah, give them a rare, it'll be fine. There's all that is words.
I like that. Little Biggin said lantern light jam.
Jam is a good one. Or soup works too. Just let Paul do it and it'll be something macabre.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Oh dear, a new way to mince burgers.
Somebody else in your stream was talking about the idea of a CG, and I was thinking, yeah, anyone who can deliver 1 ton of anything to Lantern Light completes the CG. Well done.
Congratulations, you've done it. Well done.
Little Biggin says that he's managed to.
What landed it?
No, this was when you were on about the colonization megaships.
Oh,
Okay.
Right. So if anyone visited, and yeah, I have.
Right.
Oh, did you? What does it look like? What is it? A mega ship or is
Yeah,
it?
just a mega ship, just like
Oh.
yeah. The annoying thing is they don't appear in the system map.
Oh,
That's
You kind of
annoying.
have to try and find it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said. I remember you
Everything
saying
appears
that.
in the system map.
Nope, this doesn't.
Did you FSS the system?
Yeah, it just doesn't appear. It's one of the ones that does.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
but does it appear in the left-hand navigation part?
Yes,
List.
if once you're within like the 1,000,
Oh no.
you know, whatever it has to, you know, the distances to find them.
Yes, I know.
It's
Yeah.
that, but then it doesn't appear. Like other megaships will appear in the system map, you know, like the bulk haul.
And you
Yeah.
can't honk for
Nah.
it.
No.
No, you just kind of have to. I found
You
I
have
was
to-
at. Oh, I can't remember what it was called, but someone called the fleet carrier the same name, which was really distracting. I just kind of crashed into it by accident when I flew back towards the main star. I was like, "Oh, there it is," and then I just kind of went, "Okay, it's between these 2 planets,
Did you
so
FSS?
aim for it."
This,
Did you FSS before you did that?
I did the honk.
So
and
it-
then-
so potentially an FSS would find it as well.
Does it find megaships normally?
Yeah.
I thought they were only discovered within one, you know, when you pass within a certain
No,
distance.
you can FSS
Yeah, you
for
can
them.
honk
You,
on. You can
Okay,
you-
so
you
yeah,
can't
they'll
honk
appear
them, but
in.
you can FSS them.
So they'll appear in
Yeah.
contacts, but I don't think they'll appear in your system map unlike the other megaships that do.
Okay.
So basically, you've got to find
what
them by,
makes these special?
by parallax, like the old days.
You got to eyeball it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Right. We'll do this week's power play rankings then. In 12th place, with no surprise, there's Torval, who's the witch lady. She has gained 3 systems this week, bringing her total up to 452. Ahead of her, Winters remains at 11, having gained 2 systems and bringing her total up to 513. Delaney has gained an additional 2 systems, again up to 621, and Kane is at number 9. Catching up with Petraeus quite quickly, actually. She's gained 3 systems to 644. Petraeus, who's in 8th, is not doing well. This is the 3rd week in a row he's slid. He's lost another 2 systems, so he's down to 656 and could be caught by Kane in a couple of weeks. We have Antal at 7th, who has gained 2 systems to 708. At 6th, we have Archer, who has gained sod all. Big fat 0. So he remains at 477. Lee Yong Ru in 5th has gained 3 systems, bringing his total up to 826. And good old Yuri Grom in 4th, again, has gained a big fat 0. He's now at 1,025. Emperor Rissa has gained 3 systems, bringing her total to 1,337. And winner this week with most systems is Aisling. Deval. She is now up 6 systems this week to 1,413, catching up or closing the gap now with Mahan, who got 0 this time. And that is your power play standings this week.
Ashley lost like a shit ton last week, didn't she?
Yeah, she lost a few, and then
But she's got them back.
Yeah, she's got them back effectively. But the main surprise, what I have noticed is that I think the powers are actually now beginning to buffer up against each other, because what they're all doing is, instead of attacking each other, what they're doing is they're reinforcing themselves. So they're trying to move as many systems from exploited to fortified into stronghold to try and shore themselves up before anything bad happens. I've seen a couple of border conflicts, especially between Arissa and Torval, because mostly I'm involved with them, but that we haven't had any major offensives. But it does feel like we're beginning to run out of space to expand, and things are going to kick off if you want to gain more influence with your power. So yeah, that's the state of player power play. I will say one thing for the observations is that for the last 2 weeks, I've managed to get exactly the same number of points, and it does seem that, and you get your ranking at the after the tick. Well, the previous week I was at 1,300. And now I'm up at 656, which says to me that about half the people who were playing power play have moved off to colonization. So that's just me.
This week was the first week I've done anything with power play since colonization started. So it was quite nice to take a little bit of a break, honestly, just like have something else that is like a set series of instructions to do, rather than kind of come up with anything else in my smooth brain. So that was it's been nice. I didn't again, it's fun. It's really fun that there were still missions that you cannot complete. Said no one. Yeah,
because I thought they had sorted this. Didn't they claim in the show notes? Oh, sorry, the patch notes, that they'd gone and sorted systems where you couldn't run out of changing
the hollow ones. The hollow ones, it was only if you couldn't do it if there weren't hollows in the system. If all of the hollows are to your guys, you have to you have to get a friend who's assigned to a different power to go and do them first, and then you can literally sit there and switch it between the two of you. The one that I had today, or today and yesterday, that I was trying to do was a collect like the search and rescue stuff from a specific system and hand them into that specific system. But every single station was owned by an anarchy faction, and yesterday I learned that anarchy factions don't have search and rescue active, so there was not a single station that I could hand this in at. So it was a completely and that was a new one on me, completely undoable mission.
Yep, I've got exactly the same. In one of the systems that I've got, they say I've got to go around the power play, the settlements, and take out power play things out of the out of the settlements, out of the lockers and things like that. Except they say I've got to do it in a system that's got no Odyssey settlements on it.
Oh, that's bonkers.
I know. So and they're thinking, hang on, did I not scan this thing? No, there's plenty of installations, plenty of orbital stuff, nothing on the planets. So I'm there going, well, that's 2 missions barf then. I mean, a little bit in told us earlier that actually the hollow advertising will reset, and you could also, after a certain length of time, although I haven't seen it myself, but I do know that if you do flip instance, then the chances are that they do reset. So there are loopholes around there, but they're sort of gamey loopholes, not game loopholes, if you see what I mean. That made no sense whatsoever, actually. Never mind. Explore. Just ignore me. So in order for my brain to reset, I guess we'll take an ad break. and come back with some discussion.
Have you found yourself in a spot of bother with those xenodes messing up your backyard?
Oh, why are there Fargoids in my system?
Can't leave the house without fear of a hyperdiction?
Can't even get to work. Not that they've noticed, because everything's on fire there too.
Sick of the amount of time it takes to scrub the caustic damage from those hard-to-reach places?
Oh, fuck, oh, it fucking hurts, fuck, ow.
Introducing Dr. Pope's Caustic Burn Cream. Apply a few drops to the affected area and feel the euphoria of instant relief. After that, just wash the burn away.
It's like it was meant to happen.
It's so good, you can even use it on your ships.
Thanks, Dr. Pope. My ship smells brand new.
Dr. Pope's Caustic Burn Cream, the miracle that can happen. Side effects may include dizziness, constipation, an itching sensation, worship of an obviously aggressive false deity, death, and loss of sense of smell. Should you experience any of these symptoms, please contact your doctor immediately. Not Dr. Pope though, he's busy. Are you a commander who's tired of interstellar injustices? Do you find yourself constantly needing to express your displeasure? Look no further. Introducing the Manticore Pitchfork, crafted for the discerning commander who demands more than just a plasma gun to make their point. Made from ultra-durable, premium materials, these pitchforks are designed to handle even the most heated encounters with unruly aliens, malfunctioning droids, or pesky space pirates. Whether you're settling a dispute over asteroid mining rights or rioting about a non-compulsory feature, the Manticore Pitchfork has got you covered. With its sleek design and unbeatable durability, you'll be the envy of every commander in the galaxy. The Pitchfork will be in stores later this year, but if you cannot wait until then, you can get 3 months early access by visiting your nearest Frontline Solutions. Order today, and while stocks last, receive a free displeasure beacon. This lightweight handheld device combines all the functionality of a naked flame, but with 0 oxygen requirements. Now you can wield your torches in space, and even for a small fee, change their colour. The Manticore Pitchfork, when 280 characters aren't enough.
From the makers of the MB5 shaving drone comes the latest in personal grooming technology. Here at Saracen, we've heard your request loud and clear. You want something new. Applying all the recent technological advances. Introducing the Panther Clipper. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. A shave so smooth it'll shave 10 milliseconds off your buckyball time. The new Panther Clipper from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for.
Right, before we start our main discussion today, I'd like to hand the floor over to Psykit.
Hey, I know you. Hey, folks. I know you've probably already written your comment and told Claire that she's an idiot. Let me clarify something for you very quickly. If the power contact is in an anarchy system, in an anarchy station, the availability of the things that you can do, like, for example, hand in search and rescue items. So with your black boxes and all of those things, those aren't available because it's an anarchy station. So everything that is available within the station is also available on the power contact. So before you suggest that I try the power contact, I did that. I'm level 72 with my power. I've done these before, but thank you for your advice in advance.
We needed a soapbox.
There's no soapbox. I'm just telling you what happened.
I just hope you're not getting hysterical, Claire.
Me, would I?
Never.
So, as things are going to roll people will find out that things will roll together and quite nicely. Would like to hand over to Alec for the mostly clueless this week.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking of mostly clueless, this one's courtesy of Jay Manis on the forums, and it's a nice little tip that I confess I hadn't noticed. So we have spoken, I think, at the beginning of the show about how when you first lay claim to a system, the very first station, the one that you have to deliver commodities to in a fixed period of time, its placement seems pretty random within the system. And it turns out, and I haven't tried this myself, so I'm not sure of the precise moment when this happens, but I believe when you're in the process of making your claim and you're looking at the system that you're thinking of staking a claim on, all the little circles with the plus icons on them that show you all the different spots where you can place something. One of them has a little tiny flag, and apparently that is an early indication of where your first primary starport is going to be. So I guess if you don't like it, then don't claim that system.
I'm just thinking of Eddie. He said, "Have you got a flag?"
Yes, it has a flag.
I'm sorry, no flags. You can't claim the system. Yes. So, right, moving on. The main discussion this week. Well, we'll just ask how everybody who's doing colonization, how your system's doing. So, Claire, how's your system doing?
It's there. It's fine. I haven't done anything new to it. It still exists. I'm not gonna lie, and we can talk about this until the cows come home, because that tweet from Frontier, I took a look at that refinery place that I want to build, and I really want to build my refineries further out on a different area.
Yeah.
In a different area, and I want to build them on this. There's a really cool in the system 69, which is my system, and it's already got one asteroid thingy in there, and I love it. I love it so much. It's placed really nicely. I really, really like it. It was probably where the flag was and all of that good stuff. But the planet that I really want an asteroid station is like 3,000 light seconds out, and it's an Odyssey planet, so it's got a tenuous atmosphere, it's got greens and blues, and it's an icy planet, and it's got an icy ring, and I really want one in there, and loads of like refineries and cool things on that planet. And I'm not gonna lie, burnt out is a funny word to use, because I don't think I am burnt out, because I do really want to do it, but it can wait until more people have figured out with systems that they don't want to they don't want to mess up. So there's also another we've been trying to get a pirate faction sort of near to us with loads of Odyssey bases around, so we can take, if we want to do missions for a faction and stuff in this area, we can take assassination missions and stuff like that. So we're building out this pirate system nearby too, so that's really cool. So we've got like an idea of what we want to do, and having like a functioning BGS with like having a functioning playground nearby, rather than just being our faction and that kind of thing. Going and actually playing about in like anarchy places where you can murder with reckless abandon and it doesn't matter.
But are you are you aiming to have your system as an anarchy then?
No.
All right.
The system that I have, I've already the main system that I have, I've already flipped. But there's deals bringing in has bought like a colonization beacon from an anarchy faction. So when we get that outpost made, the plan is to put loads of little Odyssey settlements all around, all also belonging to that anarchy, so that we can just go and kill them all, but occasionally do missions for them so that they stay in control of it. That's that's the dream, to go and just have like assassination missions on tap. Well, yeah, they should have chosen before they were anarchy.
Nice, I like it. Anarchy murder farm.
What, just like a playground?
Literally
playing the game.
Etty and Dawn would be so impressed.
Etienne Dawn only takes the dead bodies after they've been killed, or a soup. I really need to take my fleet carrier up to him. Yeah, I know. I need to take my fleet carrier up to him and drop him off all of those that they need refrigerating, or maybe just like they're paste. They're paste. And material farms and all of that good stuff.
Oh,
I don't know.
dear. What was that you're saying, Ben?
Won't somebody think of the children?
There's no children. You can't kill any children in the game because that would raise the Peggy rating. And they're all armed as well.
But population go up.
What population go up when a mummy and daddy love each other very much? This is what you're about to say.
No children.
But you can't kill the kids, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Imagine if they gave you an 18-year lag time.
Oh, don't you start that again.
In 18 years, you'll have 1,300 people.
And I need to call something an orphanage soon. We need to call them an orphanage.
Yes. Okay. Then, Alec, how's the racetrack building going?
Well, that's good. I mean, I've kind of been doing that in other systems. In my own system, the latest thing I did, I think I mentioned it briefly on last week's show, that I was going to look for this, was I wanted to plonk down a surface settlement in the middle of a field of geezers. I managed to find one. They're not the super powerful ones, but it's not bad. It's got like those kind of lava vents, where there's literally sort of flaming hot lava spewing out the ground, and there are also sort of geysers and jets, and so it's quite volcanically active, and it's a whole field stretching down a valley. So yeah, I've plonked a mining settlement right in the middle of it. It's really fun when you're landing at the construction yard, because like right in front of one of the landing pads is like geysers and lava going off. So it's all very active and fun. And I'm going to finish this one because I'm really curious to see where the buildings end up, and like where the NPCs patrol and things like that. Because my absolute dream would be that an NPC is patrolling around the perimeter of the base and basically walks straight through a geyser and gets shot into space or set on fire. Anyway, so hopefully I will finish that tomorrow and find out. And then the other fun thing with that was so among the things that are going on around it, you can obviously get hold of your Picious cobble, and the name Picious amused me. So then I wanted to call the base Picious Extraction Limited. But bizarrely, the naming thing seemed to not allow me to use the word extraction. But then it turned out I twigged what it was, and here's a hint to anyone else who has similar puzzles.
Picious ends with an X.
Yeah, it's the last word of Picious, and the first letter of extraction spells sex, and we mustn't have that. So yeah, it won't let me call it Picious Extraction. So it's called Picious Elicitations Limited, which I quite like.
It sounds ruder than the first one.
Yeah, it's a very long way away from taking the piss. Now you've got to do quite a lot of mental gymnastics to get to the original joke, but it's there if you look hard.
Excellent.
So that's me.
That's excellent. In mine, as I've said before, we've got the mining stations. It's almost ready. Benedetti drilling thing. I've only got a couple of thousand more to haul for it. However, I have made a mistake, and I don't know whether this is on purpose, because where I've put this settlement, it's too hot for anyone to live. It's a settlement. It's on a locked planet that's pointed directly at the sun, 53 light seconds away from the sun. So when you get out, you walk around your ship, and you can just see your health just go straight down. So I'm there thinking,
please finish it.
So there's got all these characters just walking about and then just flying up. Flame on.
Please spend arcs and call it Burning Peasants. Well, please.
That station I was at a few minutes ago, Colin, the surface temperature there was a whopping 21 degrees Kelvin.
Oh, that's cold.
A little bit. And somehow
Yeah.
they're expecting
Put on an
things.
extra jumper.
Yeah, you're going to need your Spock's and Mince's jumpers there.
Yeah. Although, thank you to the Chris Mark IV for the wonderful suggestion that the farm that I have, my orbital farm, should be renamed as Here Be Alpacas. And I'm trying to work out whether I should or not. So it's been 4 weeks since colonization has come out, which, to tell you the truth, has gone very fast.
January is the only long month in 2025. We know this now.
Yeah. So just go around both Alec and Psyche. Have you enjoyed it? Has it been worth all the hauling?
I've enjoyed it immensely. I'm genuinely thinking of starting another of my sort of famous forum threads, which I haven't done for years actually, to try and catalogue a list of interesting colonization settlements and places, because there are some amazing ones, just planetary things that have been placed in amazing places, or four sort of noob hammered Coriolis things in front of a blazing star. There's incredible places out there for tourism, and I think we need a list. So I might start one. So I've really enjoyed it for that. Apart from anything else, I think it's just adding so much. The what did Dav Stock call it? The kind of bake out process that automatically placed all the Odyssey stuff.
Yeah, I think they called it baking or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it got lucky occasionally, but that's nothing compared to what a human will do given a toolkit in terms of placing stuff in interesting locations. So it's been great for that alone.
Excellent. Claire.
Enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. Obviously, I think we all went at it a little bit too hard. I think that might be fair to say. I think we all went, oh fuck, we've only got 4 weeks, let's do it all in 3 days. And I feel like a lot of us probably got went a bit mental with it. But I'm happy with what I have. I'd like an undo function, and I feel like already we've learned a lot. But I think we asked this. I will say we asked this question, the question of the week as well. And I don't want to, because I've read them all. I don't want to steal somebody else's impression or thoughts about it. But I've seen a few people talk about wanting to find a way to automate it, or have have NPCs do it for me, and that's not. I don't think there's many of them on the question of the week on People Answered, but I've seen quite a few people be like, oh, I want to be able to get an NPC to do my transport for me, or I want to be able to. I want it to be automated so I can go and do something else that I enjoy. Because I don't want to do this. To which I say, okay, brilliant. Can we get an NPC then to go out and do exploration for me?
Yeah. I mean,
let me do if you don't want to engage with that content, don't engage with that content. You don't hear me saying that about exploration.
Yeah, this is I mean, I hate to do this because it'll feel like one podcast talking to another. But Tony over at the Guard Frequency is exactly that. He says, "No, I'd like to take the X method, where in X you can set up exactly that. You can build stations, and then you can get NPCs to do trade runs for you to build more stations."
That play X then.
Yeah, and they're thinking, no, that's. You're missing the whole point. The whole point is you've got to put the work in. You've got to do the hauling. Otherwise, what's the point? You don't get the feeling of achievement.
Where's the game? Where's the game? Well, I get it. I get it. You're bored and you don't want to do it anymore. Great. You're building a community with, especially if you're someone who's making a thing online that people listen to. You're building a community. Speak to them and join in, make an event out of it. We're planning on doing one with with our guys in my Discord. We're planning on doing one soon where we'd like get together for a good period of time on a weekend at some point and just fucking do as much as we can and all together and all have a laugh in Discord about it and stuff. There's the game. There's the bit where it's enjoyment, or you just do it on your own.
Yeah. Okay. Ben, you're obviously not doing it.
Yeah, so I'm not doing it, but even though I'm not doing it, I'm loving what people are doing. It's like you know how Alec a few seconds ago was saying about making the ports of the week or whatever in his
TripAdvisor for colonization.
Yeah, I've been loving visiting all these random colonies that people are making. So that's awesome, and I've got no desires to go and build them. I do have concerns on the amount of colonies that have suddenly just shown up, and to some extent it's making the galaxy feel smaller. To some extent it's making the galaxy feel bigger. And to an actual extent, it's not actually affecting my bloody gameplay anyway, so shut up! So, it's like, it feels like I can't sneeze without hitting a colony. But is that a problem?
There's no abandoned systems anymore in the bubble, really. They've really all been filled in.
Yeah. And I was like, is that a problem? Is it not? I don't know. It doesn't affect my day-to-day life. And I don't live there, so tough.
Awful lot of colonies with biowaste.
Or Claire trying to breed them so she can go and kill them, apparently.
Hey. It's like, hey, I'm doing an activity which is fun, it's fair enough, but in order to facilitate my doing my preferred activity, how is there not a cool gameplay loop?
It's an awesome gameplay loop.
Isn't it? Isn't it great? We can build the playground to our own desires and to our own preferred style, and people are still wanting NPCs to can do it for them.
I'm just taking a step back here and thinking, what is Claire actually doing here?
Murder!
She's encouraging people to go in there, increasing the size of their colony, and just deliberately coming in and murdering them all.
Yeah, I'll tell you what she is.
It's not a good person job.
No, I'll tell you exactly what she is. She's the predator.
Yeah, I mean,
what the
and the
predator
predator,
did.
like in a pink Baymax suit.
Oh, different kind of predator, is it?
Jesus fucking Christ, Ben! I am Splinter Cell Barbie. I think you're fine.
When somebody think of the children.
Nobody thinks of the children because you can't see them, because it would be worse, because the video, your PEGI rating would be higher and then less people could play, even though we're all in our fucking 50s. You guys are, anyway.
Not quite, approaching.
No, definitely.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I do. I mean, again, I've got really mixed feelings about this. Like, part of me thinks you shouldn't be able to go off and make a station for a few cups of coffee and a couple of cans and a couple of iron ingots. The quantity, even though you're having to hold quantities of stuff, the amount of stuff you're having to hold is way less than it takes. But then it's just a fucking game. So shut up, Ben. And I don't quite know where I feel about that. And again, it doesn't really affect me anyway. And that's why when you guys were saying about this whole, we need to build up the economy, I like that, because it means if you want a meaningful station and not just a ship producer, you've got to go and do other things as well. So yeah. I quite like that.
No, this is one thing that I always wonder. If you don't feed, I don't think that they've put this in, but I would have thought that if you do not carry food to that one solitary station that's in the middle of nowhere, basically everybody dies of starvation. And it becomes a dead station.
They've got NPCs to do it for them.
They've got the NPCs, yes.
However, there could be a possibility that if there is an activity there, it might go into famine or things like that, and then you could you then will definitely have to deliver food and stuff because then it can get worse. So there are like BGS mechanics. If you want a beautiful, lovely functioning system, it's then a chance to look at BGS mechanics. But it's one of those things. It's another one of those things where it's like, I wish everything just talked to each other a little bit better. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean there.
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous in a nutshell. I wish every element talked to each other just a smidge better. That'd be great.
You're raising something that does worry me a wee bit as well, as what effect is this having on the BGS, on the power play, and how much are we seeing that already?
Well, I think as far as the power play is concerned, not that much. I mean, one of the reasons Mahan jumped last week was because there was a whole load of systems that were suddenly available to them that they moved into. But apart from that, there hasn't really been much. Although, as these systems are colonized, then it gives the powers the ability to
colonization be exploited to assist your power.
Yeah, but then you'd have to organize with your power properly.
Yeah.
And the powers don't do that?
Oh, I know the top three do, but I don't think I haven't seen anything in them. I don't know about the other powers, but I know that ours. I don't think we're considering that at the moment because we've got too much going on.
There's also like when I was doing power play today, I was looking at acquisition systems and trying to find mega ships in acquisition systems, which just wasn't happening for me. But recognizably more acquisition systems available than there has been previously, which of course there will be because all of the in-between systems have been filled in, you know.
Yeah, which is, I think that's a good thing, but
I agree.
But in other ways, it means that the powers have more space to expand before they shouldn't, and they should be butting heads by now, and they're not because they've got a little bit more expansion room. So yeah, I mean, as far as myself is concerned, I'll put it this way: I have played nothing but Elite Dangerous for the last 4 weeks, apart from maybe a couple of hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, before colonization came out, it was completely the other way around. So I think it's got hold of me in a way I didn't expect, and I have managed. I do have a sense of ownership about this one little system that I am building up and molding the way I want to, and I'm really enjoying doing that. So much so, Commander Nomsky's tool has been the most hit website of mine this week. As I try and work out, no, I don't want to, I want to have that there, and no, that's not going to work. It's not going to give me enough standard of living. I need to get more farms in, and so the planning using that tool has actually been just as much fun as doing it. Well, certainly been more fun than some of the hauling. But I will say this as a caveat. It does get to the point where you do get tired of the hauling, which is why I did the exploring and the power play this weekend, because I needed a break.
Yeah.
And
it's a good job there's other things for you to do in game then, isn't there, Colin?
It's funny that, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a classic thing with Elite, which if you do something and you focus on something, and you do it for weeks on end, like I had with plant scanning, you learn to hate plant scanning, and you have to take a break from it and come back to it in 3 or 4 months when you suddenly think, oh, I remember doing this, it was all right. Then you forget what it was. You forget the pain, apparently. So
Or become numb to it.
You come down to. I'll tell that to Commander Picard. But yeah, I think apart from some minor quibbles, I've been really pleased with it. It's probably been the best. I'm more happy with colonization than I am with the present build of power play. Put it that way.
Wow.
Wow.
That's doing something because you were really pretty keen on power play too.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. I still am keen on power play. I know that, but I still got the some misgivings about it because it wasn't. It, like I said, it was 90% of what I wanted, while colonization is more like 95%. So it's better fulfilling what I want from colonization rather than what I wanted from power play. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're both good. Trust me, they're a hell of a lot better than the power play we had before, and it's. I think the one thing that I was scared of is that they'd go full X. Now I don't know if anybody else has played the X series of games, but it puts itself out as the successor for Elite in single player. But where I lost it was it kind of is like a cross between Elite and Eve, where you start off on a ship, you fly that ship, and then before you know it, you're flying spreadsheets because you're managing an entire corporate empire. And I didn't want that from my space game. I think they've got this right, where you have got to make the contribute. You or your friends have got to make the contribution to actually create your system instead of getting the computer to build it for you.
Yeah, there's still flying a spaceship involved in building this system in a
So
and that's where the NPCs and getting them to do it all would kind of remove all that, wouldn't it?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
And just one final thing before we move on. One thing it has done, it has actually for me put in the classic Elite loop. In the classic Elite games, it was always haul cargo so that you can put money towards something, and on that way you will be attacked by pirates and you've got to defend yourself. That's happened to me quite a lot in my T9 while I'm doing this, and just the fact that that's happening has just brought back waves of nostalgia for me, saying this is how Elite's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be attacked by pirates. And fighting off T9s, pirates in a T9 with a fighter is actually fun.
I went and picked up something that from a place that I didn't realize was a stronghold for a different power the other day, and this is today, and there's me in my fucking shieldless cutter, in my big shieldless cutter with everything going, oh no, and like fully having to bollock out of the station and jump and stuff, and that felt really cool as well.
That's
that
good
felt
gameplay, that is.
Yeah, really fun gameplay as part of what is. I hauled like nearly the whole of Deal's Steel today in an afternoon, and like that was really great. Really great.
Yeah. So, I think for the majority, there's been positives all round on this. Okay, there are a couple of negatives, but I think overall colonization for the first month has been a fantastic success. I really do.
Sure. And we did ask that was our question of the week as well, obviously, as it tends to be. We asked on Sunday, it's normally around 2 p.m. We ask our question of the week on our Discord, on our Twitter, and on our Blue Sky. So if you check that out on a Sunday and answer the question, and this is when we discuss them. And our question this week was, again, how do you feel about it now? Would you like to change anything? And if there's something that you've learned that more people should know about?
Is there anything else on a Sunday afternoon?
Black Diamond FM, it's really good. Go check it out. I say to your listening device in your house, hey, Google or Alexa, play Black Diamond FM, and it will play it for you, and it's real good.
You're just hoping a lot of people have just
But not now. Yeah, I was going to say, not now. Stay with us, because we're going to go down the question. Right. Misery Cord says, I thought colonization was a good idea at first, but now in such a short time, there is a new outer bubble taking shape, and it worries me. Are we expanding too fast? There's more than just Thargoids out there to worry about.
I would like that.
I don't know that I need to take a proper look at the galaxy map and zoom out, but I know it feels like we're expanding fast, but I think they're quite small numbers in galactic terms. I think we're all right.
In galactic terms, we certainly are small numbers. I have Nicey. While it is still a beta and therefore things break, looking at you change capitalization in the journals, it is really fun. Even just flying around looking at the cool stuff. I feel that I should explain the capitalization thing. My script to parse the journal data looks like for specific fields, and if they change the capitalization, it looks for the wrong thing. Only spent an hour working that one out, but ... I've had enough of coding.
I'm going to respond to Nicey very quickly here and say, "Too lower is your friend." And I'm going to move on with Daedalus.
Yeah.
Daedalus is saying, "I genuinely was not expecting to enjoy colonization. I only started this week and I already have an outpost. I love it and I'm going to do considerably more."
Nice. Nice. I really like that. Profane Pagan says, "I love it, and I like to be here to witness the process of making it. I have 3 pipe dreams now: to be able to disembark on the colony ship, to be able to upgrade the stronghold carriers to fleet carriers, and then to retrofitted super carrier colony ships, and para-terraforming to build domed settlements. Domed settlements would be fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really dope."
You mean a dome over the entire settlement as opposed to the biodomes?
Like a Mars colony kind of thing.
Yeah,
like a big over the...
Yeah, cool. Eva Flash says, "It's like a rebirth of the game. Suddenly all those random commodities are now interesting. Finding a cool surface location is obsessive. Planning the halls so meticulously is very satisfying. Can't get enough of it. I absolutely love it. FDev, you legends. I need more hours than ever before." Nice.
Amazing.
Oh, lovely. I have Taller Ghost. I would love to see some UI changes. Yeah, definitely. Like sphere of influences within the system map to be able to judge the impact of the new hubs on the economy, or a dedicated overview of the remaining resources in the right-hand panel. Definitely that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And of course, some more bug fixes. Other than that, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that feels right. Ben?
Peter Cook is saying, "We should be able to pay for transport tugs to take materials up to the colonization ships so that we can concentrate on other things."
No!
Sorry, Peter, no, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
Peter,
Absolutely shouldn't.
There's a game called that. It's called X4 Foundations, and it's
You'd
fantastic
love
for
it.
that kind of thing.
I also want, can I just very quickly add in, I've just arrived at Oregon where one of the Trailblazers is, and I honked, and then I looked at my navigation menu, and I can see Trailblazer's song right here.
Excellent.
Interesting. I wonder why Chris couldn't find it then, because he complained to me about it at length. So I'm going to assume that he was accurate, not being able to find it as well. Julius says, "I really liked it so far. Find it very motivating to have a clear goal. For something to improve, I would like to be able to gain some progress for my colony by doing something different than hauling. As an example, special missions where you could do some bounty hunting and in exchange you get certain tonnage of progress on a station. In addition, or alternatively, in certain conditions you have to fulfill to unlock a station type or structure to later build, like hand in X planet scans. I don't hate that as an idea, just like something to break a monotony of constant hauling, just something different. Hey, what about handing in building schematics?
Videos!
I quite like the idea. I really like that idea that you have a mission, and it's quite a difficult mission maybe to, rid a system of all its pirates, and in exchange we'll drop off 500 tons of steel for you or something.
That'd be a night. If you're instead of being paid in credits, you're paid in deliveries of commodities.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. Decamper says, "I'm enjoying the hauling and building, but I wish they could add a materials wish list to the mission. Yes, please. So that I don't have to keep swapping to the system view to find what I need or screenshot the list and keep tabbing out the game." Exactly what I did this morning. Screenshot. And Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking photographs with my phone.
Yeah.
I have Cheb's Will. I'm still enjoying it, currently helping another get their first outpost station. The only thing I I'd like changed or added would be the ability to customize the insides of the station, concourses, jukebox choices, etc. They could take my arcs for that one. I guess I've learned / was surprised by people still wanting to cheat at this game. Well done to FDev for fixing what sounds like an epic cheat with the building of spaceports in minutes. Also, it's a shame that the ability to name things has caused such a negative reaction. Some people have been nasty on purpose, and others are looking to be offended. Shouldn't stop the rest of us having fun. Overall, it's great. Does anybody know how many Mos Eisley spaceports are there out there?
I saw a good
Others
6 or 7
looking to be
earlier.
offended.
I'm going to go to Anara now and check that. I wonder how many Mos Eisleys there are.
You'll have to ask Jeb's Will.
So I've got Little Biggin, who's really enjoying it. The only thing I'd like to change is that what they are currently looking at is how ports, etc., inherit their economy. Under colonization rules, quite a few of the existing systems in the game, the main port would only sell poop. It's hard to understand the system when it doesn't match what we already have in game. I would like to see the economy inheritance work in the following way. If the port outpost doesn't have an economy type associated with it, i.e. not an industrial outpost, it inherits the market from the system economy. If the port outpost is within the influence of an economic building, then the majority of the market goods belong to the economy type. No idea how you would handle different economic buildings on the same planet. Don't we have stations which are refinery extraction and things like that?
Yeah, we do. We have stations which are hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
They have multiple markets.
I'd like to see landable refinery building on some sort. I don't understand why the refinery is the only one which has no landable building.
Or space equivalent.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, that, because the refinery is one of the most important systems to have close to your building effort.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, it's odd, isn't it? It's really odd. Okay, right. Let me just say this is an absolutely brilliant post, and I love how she's written all of this out. It's really great, and she apologized to me today for it, and I'm not having that. So Commander Face Guy says, I'm still quite excited about colonization as a feature in Elite. A few thoughts. Colonization has a real risk of causing burnout if you're not careful. The BGS is really broken with a lot of conflicts. My system has been over 15 days on day one conflict, and others have reported the same. Yeah, the tick just doesn't appear like it's happened or anything along those lines. It's very annoying. I'm still sitting with stations with 0 commodities and hope they change it like they suggested, so that it is influenced by economic influences throughout the system. It doesn't look like installations that share an orbit with stations have any influence on the interior or the station economy. We'll have to see on Thursday. I've learned that 7 security points gives you medium security, and over 10 gives you high security. Unsure why you'd ever want more than 10 at this point. I've learned that tourism economy has increased the amount of Saud Kruger ships I see in my system. I've learned that trade routes are created the moment there is trade activity, which is why you get interdicted after a few construction hauls. I've learned that a high-tech outpost will have a pretty good commodity list, even without settlements, as long as it's orbiting a body. My biggest frustration so far with colonization has been bodies that orbit really closely with other bodies have construction slots that fail the moment you try to fill them, or the stations fly away from you when you try to land, making it impossible to complete. There's a thing for that. We'll come back to that. I often get scarlet crates when landing on construction sites for no clear reason, similar to how landing on some fleet carriers kick you out of the game. I'm really worried about the galaxy being littered with systems with 1 outpost in them. I hope they introduce a mechanic that allows pirates from taking apart an outpost for scrap, spawning new scavenger missions where when you finish scavenging an abandoned station, the system becomes available for colonization again. All installations have the same icon. Would love for, say, a bar to be represented by a wine glass. There's so much cool stuff in in there. Diana Rigg is saying that apparently that trade route citation isn't correct, and Ian Doncaster debunked it on the forum. I don't know. I'm just reading what FaZe found out and that FaZe experience. It's such a clear, lovely thing to say. Wholly agree with it causing burnout.
Yeah.
If you're not careful. And BGS being broken is really frustrating.
I think you really nailed it, Claire, actually, way back when you said, something to the effect of we're trying to do 4 weeks work in 3 days. And I think that says it exactly. We need to slow down a bit because it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
I think you do have a fear, like when you have a colonization or a system that you're colonizing, anytime you log on, you get a pop-up that says you have X amount of time to finish this. The game reminds you constantly if there's one which, or obviously once that first one is done, it's for free for all and you can take as much time as you want. But that time, every time you log on and it's like, hey, remember you still got this open, come do it. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah,
It does put the fear in you, and you're like, oh shit, I better deliver some.
I must admit, the only thing that I don't agree with is the thing about being worried about the galaxy being littered with systems with one outpost in them. If that, I think it has to be voluntary that the commander that doesn't want a station anymore says, right, okay, I don't want it. And then you can have the pirates come in and rip it apart. But just because someone has created an outpost that's by itself, they might be happy with that. They might just want to leave it there. So unless they've got that option to say, no, pirates can have it, then I think it should be left. But apart from that, I agree with everything else you said, which is... Yeah.
Also on that, I was going to talk on that as well, Colin, that thing about... Because obviously people that are building chains and have a distant goal in mind, they are just going to build an outpost. They're going to build the quickest, cheapest outpost to build and move on, outpost and move on. But I was going to say one of the reasons I don't necessarily mind that is that as you fly around the bubble, you come across all sorts of systems. You come across systems that only have outposts, and you come across systems that are littered with stuff and have Corioluses and Orbuses and, the whole variety. And it doesn't necessarily tell a story to me, but it strikes me that if you're, exploring, say, or trading, and you come across a whole chain of systems that each have one outpost, they might not be interesting, but they tell a story, and a very legitimate story, that a commander has passed this way, reaching for some distant goal. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. Ben?
I'm just wondering, what about if you've built your one station or whatever, but then obviously once the station's built, it's handed off to the BGS to maintain.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, what about, should the BGS be doing that? And what about if let's say you built your station or your outpost, and then
What do you mean? Should the BGS be doing that, Ben? I'm confused.
I'm just thinking, let's say I've done this thing. I've made Ben's outpost, and then I don't log in for 10 years. Should Ben's outpost still be maintained? And I
mean, maintained is a funny word because it will still exist, but it will potentially go through different BGS states.
Yeah,
so
I can't quite figure out what I'd like.
It's effectively it's the same as everything else.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by handing it off to the BGS.
Well, you got a choice. You've got a choice of you'd have a choice of either you manually maintain it, which is going to be the equivalent of the maintenance fees for your fleet carrier, and we've already found out that people don't like maintenance fees or things like that. I mean, it probably means that every month you've got to supply X number of tons of food, etc., just to keep that place supplied, and that means that you'd have to physically do it. Otherwise, then the station would die. And I don't think that people who have gone and done 30 or 40 of these chains would appreciate having to go up and down the chain constantly, feeding all these hungry people.
That sounds like a them problem.
Also, if that's a thing, if that was something that they were going to decide to do that, and if, like, say a famine state occurred, or the security got really bad, and then pirates are going to start attacking the station, and then all of that, and those kind of things happen, I'd like to see that across the board on all stations, not just colonized systems. If you're doing something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe. What about if you have some way of losing system architect role, if something like that, if you don't play for ages?
I don't know that if there's any benefit for that in any way. Like,
let's say
you've put in that first 4 weeks, and you put in the effort at the beginning, and there's not really any way. I wonder if there's a way that you might be able to, like, hand it off to someone at some point, maybe. But I don't
I'm just
think.
Thinking, if you've built a route to A, but you don't care about all these places in between. But somebody comes along and says, "Hey, I really like that system."
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know, and I think I'd like the idea of being able to say, "Hey,
nice
Claire, if you like that system, you take it," as you say.
Yeah, nice if you could sell the lease, on to somebody else.
Oh, great. Now we've got a housing market. Oh, wonderful. That means estate agents. Ben, why did you have to invent estate agents in Elite Dangerous? There's enough evil in the galaxy as there is.
It could be worse. It could be lawyers.
Actually, it is Space Monopoly, because you could, like, sell it, because you could go put a hotel on it, so it's worth more.
Yeah, it's got an Orbis on it. Nice Orbis about that. Pity if something would happen to it. Anyway.
Oh God, we've got the mafia now.
And one last thing I wanted to chip in on is the idea of dredgers or whatever, sort of systems that fall into disuse, kind of collapsing again. You'd end up with the systems that people were reaching for in their long chains being cut off from the BGS, and that seems problematical to me.
Yeah, unless it creates little mini bubbles.
Oh, what's the place that everyone used to do the trade runs to because it was so far away, and the only mission that went all the way out there and back? You could create your own little Robigo.
Yeah,
Robigo runs. Create your own little Robigos, I suppose. Yeah.
Right. Okay. We're going to leave it there. Has anybody got any other business before I do the shout outs?
No. I'm looking at the time. No.
No. Right. Fine. Okay. There are shout outs this week. Our sister station, obviously, Hutton Orbital Radio. It broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv, Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you want the audio, it's normally at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout-outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts. So there's the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. And Tony's trying to get other people to build his station for him. If you want to help him, please go ahead. But yeah, we've also got the wonderful Loose Screws, who are also building lots of stations. And of course, if you speak French,
I just let the funky music do the talking.
There is the wonderful Elite Dangerous podcast, who also do these fantastic Elite adventures as well. Now, following on from this, we have a Galnet News Digest that's provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. You may have seen it before, but it's still good. And thanks to all those who have chipped in the Twitch chat. And our in-game commanders, according to the Chris Mark IV, is Ulrich Octavius Epicris.
Absolutely not.
PR_. Is that PR? We've got Hubuki, Soccer42, Jay Fremantle, Rocky Star, and Frozen Satsuma. All thank you for keeping Chris company in the bar at Lave Station. Special thanks, of course, go to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Ellen Stroud, who have all created music that we use on the show. So that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links in the home/contact us menu option of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben.
Good night, Colin.
Thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Night all.
Thanks to Claire.
07 Commanders.
And special thanks goes to today's tech specialist. That'd be the Commander Little Biggin, the Chris Mark 5.
You're welcome.
Still sounds like the Chris Mark 4. I'm sorry.
My guy, come on.
I just can't. Anyway, until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word. Space. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 24th of March, 3311. Brewer Corporation is trying to put things right. Having announced last week that system economies rely on the supply chain being clustered around a single landable planet, Brewer says it is now investigating ways to expand what it describes as the route to market to encompass facilities elsewhere within the star system. This might mean that starports built round gas giants might in future be able to trade commodities other than bio-waste. This is, however, dependent on Brewer reaching agreement with local Labour representatives and the Pilots Federation. The Pilots Federation, which has been criticised for failing to publish any details on how the economies of colonised systems work, has thanked commanders for their feedback during this initial phase of the colonisation initiative. Brewer has also responded to requests to assist the trapped Lantern Light starport, which is orbiting the PSR J2144-3933 neutron star in Lalande 25224 approximately once per second, and is also spinning violently on an eccentric axis. Given the stress the structure of the Ocellus is under, it's surprising it hasn't disintegrated completely. Brewer is planning to deploy a huge steel rope net to capture the spinning starport and tow it into a safer orbit, but says the exercise will take several weeks to plan and execute. In the meantime, they have suggested that pilots should think very carefully before choosing to dock at this utterly lethal station. Their rule of thumb is that if the docking bay is spinning too fast to see, it's probably better to go somewhere else. The Pilots Federation is presenting its monthly holocast on Wednesday this week at 1800 Galactic Standard Time. It is expected that there will be an update on the state of the colonisation initiative, as well as some further information about the new Gutermeyer spaceship, the Corsair.